Chapter 3. The next day was Sunday, and at breakfast, Baba said to Mackenzie, "Shall we go on an excursion today?" Excursion means shall we go out on a trip and go for a walk? "Yes," cried Mackenzie. "To Central Park," said Baba. "Fort Tryon Park," cried the boy. "But that is so far away," said Baba. "And let's take Steffi," said the boy. Steffi's real name was Stefan, and he lived next door. He was a year older than Michael. "All right," said the man. "We could have lunch up there. Do you mind if we have lunch in the park?" said Baba to the boy's mother. "Would you mind not having to fix us lunch?" "Oh, that would be terrible," said the boy's mother. "If I don't have to fix lunch for you, I'll be forced to go back to bed and read the Sunday papers." Soon Baba and the two boys were driving along the West Side Highway toward Fort Tryon Park. The boys could see freighters, tankers, ferry boats and other craft in the Hudson River. "Enemy battleships!" the boys cried, and raked them with fire from their wooden rifles. Sometimes Baba had to speak sternly to the boys, saying, "Boys, sit down. Stop waving those rifles around. Do you want to knock my front teeth out?" The boys were very well behaved, and every time the man spoke sternly to them, they would stop waving the rifles around for a few seconds anyway. When they came to Fort Tryon Park, they parked a car near the entrance. "Let's see if our treasure is still there," said Mackenzie. "Let's see if my front teeth are still there," said his father. "What treasure?" said Stefan. "Come on," said Mackenzie. "I'll show you." They walked down some stone steps and along a walk until they came to a broken down fence. Beyond the fence was a very steep hill, so steep that the trees had to hold on by their bare roots to keep from slipping. In a hole at the base of one of those trees, Michael and his father had hidden a rusty old paper punch several weeks before. They all scrambled down the hill until they found the tree, and sure enough, the paper punch was still there, with a little bit more rust on it. Perhaps, in fact, ready to fall apart, but still there. They put it back in time, in the same hiding place, and then worked their way carefully down the hill, through a high arched tunnel and up a big green playing field, where the boys chased each other until lunchtime. After lunch, in the park restaurant, they sat on a bench eating Cracker Jacks. Mackenzie was disappointed because the prize in his Cracker Jack box was just a piece of cardboard with numbers on it, a silly game of some kind. And Steffi's prize was a beautiful bright green cardboard monkey. Mackenzie asked for another box of Cracker Jack, hoping that next time he might get a prize like Steffi's, but his father said no. "The prize you get in a Cracker Jack box is a matter of luck," said Mackenzie's father. "What's luck?" said Mackenzie. "Something that happens and you have to be satisfied with it." There were tears in Mackenzie's eyes. "Damn it," he said. "You mean darn it," said his father. "Is damn a bad word?" said Michael, rather eagerly. No, no, said his father, but it is more a word for grown-ups. A boy your age should say, darn it. Darn it, said Michael. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. Steffi, would you give me your monkey? I'll be your best friend. Stefan shook his head. You're already my best friend, he said. Mackenzie walked sadly away from the bench toward a big wire basket at the edge of the walk. He looked into the waste basket. Suddenly he shouted, Daddy! Come here, Daddy! There in the waste basket was a beautiful, bright green cardboard monkey, exactly like Stefan's. Someone had thrown it away. It was not dirty, not even folded. Baba took it out of the paper basket and gave it to Mackenzie. And now both boys were happy. What about taking a rest, said Baba. You could lie down on the bench for a while. Tell a story, said Mackenzie. Tell about Rainbow and the wolf. So after explaining to Stefan what had happened so far in the story, the man continued. When Waldo the wolf saw Rainbow, the hen asleep in the hen house, he grabbed her in his teeth and ran out across the chicken yard and down into the tunnel and under the fence and into the dark forest. Tell Steffi how sharp the wolf's teeth were, said Mackenzie. Sharp as butcher's knives, Steffi. And not very clean, said Mackenzie's father. Wolves do not brush their teeth. I do, said Stefan. Go on, Daddy, said Michael. Well, as the wolf carried her from the hen house, Rainbow let out a loud, frightened cackle. This woke up some of the other hens, and they began to crackle too. Did it wake up Mr. Tractor Wheel? said Mackenzie. I don't know, said Baba. Did it? Make it that it didn't, said Stefan. Right, said Mackenzie. So the man went on saying, Baba carried on the story. Waldo carried Rainbow to his den, deep in the dark forest, and there he ate her. And that is the end of the story. Now let's be quiet for a while. No! shouted said Mackenzie and Stefan. He didn't eat her yet, said Mackenzie. Stefan looked disappointed. Okay, said Baba. He didn't eat her. Then tell some more, Daddy, said Mackenzie. No. You boys are sleepy. We are not, cried the boys. No, said Mackenzie's Daddy. Well, I am. If you'll be quiet for a few minutes, I'll tell you some more on the way home. The boys closed their eyes and pretended to be asleep. In the moment, there was the sound of snoring. It was Mackenzie. Was Mackenzie asleep? No. Was it Stefan? No. It was Mackenzie's father. He was asleep. Night, big boy. Sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite. Baba loves you very much. Night.